Welcome to the Dice Tower video preview of GenCon 2013. In this series of 4 videos, Tom Vassell and Z Garcia take a look at announced games for the GenCon convention. And now, here are your hosts, Tom and Z.
All right, did any game from Game Salute make your top 10?
I don't think so. I don't think anybody, no.
You're not on the show anymore.
This is one game I saw with some gangsters. It looked okay.
Okay, well, that's on my top 10, but that's totally a biased reason because as a designer, but I'm really excited. Now, it may not make it, which I'm worried. I mean,
Might not be there.
It's in America on a ship right now, but if it can get shipped to the Kickstarter backers, Nothing Personal will be there, and I'm very excited about that one.
Cool.
I just realized we never introduced ourselves. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
And you're watching the GenCon 2013 preview.
Let's talk about my game first. Then we can say who we are.
All right. So now that we have that out of the way, we're talking about games. This is the third video in the series. We've gone through A through F of companies. Now we're into G's, and so we're at Game Salute, which is, Game Salute's more of a conglomeration of companies. They produce some things in their own, like Nothing Personal, but they also have other companies that they're just there and they're selling their game for them.
Yes.
So they have a lot of games. They have Pixel Lincoln, which has been out for a while now, but I think this will be the first convention it will be at. It might have been at Origins, I don't remember. A deck building game about a pixelated Lincoln who fights with a beard orang.
Beard and there's
Yes, and sausage whip.
That's right. Meats, yes.
Then there's Nothing Personal, Curve Flip, which is a really cool word game in which there's letters on the board, and if you can make a word with them, you do it, and then you'll flip the letters over, and if you make a word using those letters that have been flipped over, then you wipe them off the board
It's sort of
into
a
the
speed
box.
game, yes?
Yeah. Serpent Stones is a 2-player card game where you're trying to build like basically a line across the board.
Right, connection game.
There's an expansion for Keyflower. Then there's Colossal Cave they have. This is like a choose-your-own-adventure style type thing, but as a game. I don't know a whole lot more other than that. I guess it's a chance.
It looks really neat. I like the artwork a lot, and it seemed a little take that for me. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. We'll see the whole. You said like that story-driven thing. We'll see how that plays out. Also, I don't know. I'm not too excited about it, honestly. I was at first. Saw the cover, thought, oh, really cool, and then I was like, it looks a little take that. I'm gonna probably pass on that. If I can play it, I will, but not top 10.
Now, what I am excited about is Heroes of Metro City. This is one where it's a cooperative deck-building superhero game. Which isn't...
They've never done that before.
Well, no. Well, there's only... Actually, the only cooperative deck-building superhero game is Legendary. But this one, you're like building your superhero. Legendary, you are like utilizing the superheroes to help you fight.
Right.
So I think this one is different enough. And then there's also Corporate America, which is about fat cats and bribing people and being a jerk, essentially.
And it seems like a light satire.
Promoting
bribing.
family values.
Yeah, it's like a light game, compared to the one we talked about on the last video. We talked about the Corporate America game. Very heavy, long game. This looks to be something similar, but light and satirical. It looks interesting. This is more my style.
Then there's Golden Egg Games. Now, you may not have heard of them. They've done Fallen City of Kerez, which I think is on my shelf here somewhere. Here it is. This is a huge, it's like a fantasy board game in which you move around and you're building a city together. It's semi-cooperative. They also have Alliances, which I was able to play the prototype of. It's a trick-taking game. And when you win a trick, you take control of a region on the board.
Okay.
So it's like a war game, but trick-taking, basically. And you're trying to control regions, and then you can use those regions sometimes with special tricks.
Cool. See, another thing I see happening a lot this year, trick-taking games, making a big resurgence. We've got the Dragon Whisperer from Richard Borg, trick-taking game, You Suck. This game. It's interesting to see that making sort of a comeback. Very neat trend.
Guerrilla Games will be there. They're the guys who made Lifeboat, and they also did Battle Stations. They have a couple prototypes that will be there. Desert Island It's a standalone sequel to Lifeboat. Apparently...
See, this, I had a really hard time looking up this information. I couldn't find a thing about it.
This is exclusive to the Dice Tower.
Yeah, baby. Even I don't know about it. That's how exclusive it is.
No, but listen to this. This style's interesting. Basically, the desert island, all those people... You played Lifeboat.
Yes, I love it.
Okay, on Lifeboat, you're a character, and you secretly hate someone on the boat, and you secretly love someone on the boat. And either one of those people could actually be you.
Yes.
So you want them to die. Apparently, in Desert Island, you've landed.
Okay.
On the island.
Right, good.
You still hate someone and you still like someone. Now you're trying to get food to survive and light a signal fire to get the rescue boat.
Very cool.
Would you like some of this food? Sorry.
Hated. I love the first one, and I'm really looking forward to this. I don't know how much information is going to be there. If we're getting a demo, what's there, you know?
We'll try to take pictures and see. By the way, I should mention in this video that if you subscribe to @TheDiceTower, and we'll be tweeting and we'll also be posting pictures on Facebook of all the new stuff that we see there.
Yep, and I'll be doing that too on my own.
Monster Derby is a road race game where you're going to pick a secret agenda and then take turns moving monsters, and you can bet on monsters that you don't like or just have them mess up when you run them by zigzagging in the terrain. I like that idea. It's very similar to that horse racing game. Well, actually, most horse racing games.
Yeah, where you bet on one or the other and try to mess up the horse you don't want to win, yes.
If this works, I love this style. I love that kind of game, and the artwork looks phenomenal.
Cool. Yeah, me too. I like that.
Those will both be there as demos. Now we get to IELLO/Gryphon Games. They'll have a whole pile of stuff there. They'll have a demo of the new expansion for Fleet Arctic Bounty. A lot of people like that card game. Have you played that one where you're fishing?
I never played. It did get a lot of good buzz, though.
It did. And they have some really cool looking games. They have Francis Drake, which is this really big, expansive board with all these pieces.
Yeah, it looks like such a cool throwback Euro. It looks really
It looks like a Euro version, one of the guys said, of Merchants and Marauders.
Yes.
So that's interesting. Then there's Wizard's Brew, which is a reprint of Das Amulet, which was a Spiel des Jahres nominee.
Alan Moon game.
Alan Moon, and so that automatically makes it interesting to me. Any kind, I mean, I know a lot of people disparage the Spiel des Jahres, but if a game was nominated for them, I'm going to try it.
Yes, absolutely. There's something there, probably. You know, most of the time, like 90% of the time, it's a game you should try. And this is actually an older game, which has been trying to get reprinted for a long time. It seems like they've been trying to get this done for years.
Yeah, I wonder why it hasn't been.
One way or another, you know. So finally, it's going to be there. Got to check that out.
Then there's how's it pronounced? Karen
Sensui.
Which is also, I think it's the word for rocks, but I love the description of this.
Yes, I know. Yeah, it's like it's a cutthroat Zen gardening game. Cutthroat.
No, listen to this.
You know, moving sand and then like shaking that off and stabbing.
No, you're making rock formations, it says in the description, and the masters come by and they will hand out demerits if you have the wrong rock formation. I'm sorry, I give a hard time getting over the theme. We're going to so make fun of that theme when we play it.
So ridiculous.
Then there's Railways Express, which is like Railways of the World, but with dice. Railways of North America and Railways of Great Britain will both be out. So, and there's probably some other games maybe that Gryphon and IELLO aren't the best at always telling me what games they have, but that's what we know about. Then Gutbusting Games.
Gutbusting.
They make all those trailer park games and white trash, Pink Flamingos. They have a new game out called Cheap Shot, which I believe... What'd you write? Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah, I wrote, this is my own, but this is, by the way, what I'm looking at here. This is my own cheat sheet for what we're talking about. And basically my impressions and what I wrote for this game is, where is it? I wrote Cards Against Humanity meets Rummy. It's sort of what it feels like to me. And that's sort of what it looks like. I mean, the game is described as having a Rummy-based mechanism, and I think they're going for that over-the-top humor.
People always disparage Gutbusting Games, but every time I've been to a convention, they're always busy. There's always people there playing games and laughing.
Cool.
So, moving on to IELLO. Now, IELLO is turning into one of my favorite companies. I mean, I didn't even hear about them until King of Tokyo showed up, but now they're big. They're big people.
Yeah, every time they put out a game, I'm there. I'm there.
Now, they're going to be demoing Guardians Chronicles there, which is really a cool sounding game, where it's a cooperative, well, actually, it's not cooperative, it's team-based. There's the superheroes against the villain.
That's right.
The villain's in his lair trying to launch missiles and do all that stuff. The heroes are running around trying to stop him and fight off his minions at the same time. Looks really cool. Really cool. They also have the Phantom Society.
That looks cool for me. I'm excited about that one.
Is that in your top 10? It is not.
It is not. It is not. That might have been top 15 of the show. Obviously, all being preliminary, we haven't gone yet.
I do
that looks
wonder.
really neat. It also looks like a team-driven thing where you got the ghosts and the ghost hunters, and just the artwork sells me right away. And then the theme looks really neat too. You know, it looks like a very interesting team game. Excited about that.
And then they'll also be demoing a new Zombies game, Zombies 15. Okay, so moving on to Impact Miniatures. Impact Miniatures is a game they made that roller derby game.
Impact Roller Derby.
And so they have a line of chibi figures, little dungeon adventurers. There's no game yet, but you can buy them. Okay.
Okay, rubber duckies and chibis.
But I'm pretty excited about this Dice Farmer game, and because he came to me and he's like, "Hey Tom, I know you like all these weird-sided dice." I was like, "Yeah, 14-sided." He's making a 14-sided, a 16-sided, and I said, "That's all well and good. You know, I love these weird-sided dice, but why don't we make a game using them?" So he's like, "All right, I will for you, Tom." So he did.
So this is the game that's dedicated to you, is what you're saying.
I don't know.
That's
if
what
it's
this whole
dedicated
story
to
was
me.
about. The game's dedicated to you.
No,
The one thing I will say about the game, it has the creepiest cover I've seen in a long time. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
It's basically a farmer bending over some cabbages or something, and they appear to be blooming, and there's a massive die inside of each one.
How's that creepy?
It's really disturbing looking. It looks like a freaky, like, Salvador Dali painting. It's really freaky.
All right, so that's Dice Farmer, but I think it's cool though that there's the really cool dice in it. Mm-hmm. Okay, whatever. I'm a sucker for that. Japanime will have a very popular booth at GenCon because they'll be selling Crossmaster Arena, which I really enjoy. It's a 2-player game with those little chibi figures.
That's right.
Maybe you can go buy them from Impact Miniatures and use them. Probably not. But I think that's a neat game. It's a fun 2-player game, and they'll be selling it for the first time.
And if you're a sucker for really cool bits, go check that out.
Speaking of my favorite game companies, Level 99. I love this company. Lots of fun things. BattleCon, I just think it's great. But they have some neat games coming out. They're going to be showing off the next version of BattleCon, Devastation of the Endines, but they're also Pixel Tactics 2.
Yes.
Whoa, that's in my top 10.
Oh, I'm there.
I like Pixel Tactics a lot, and this one looks like it's bigger and better with more cards. They also have 7-card Slugfest, which is an interesting game. You have 7 cards and you fight someone else, but the 7 cards differ on what character you have.
Right.
And he has proven himself to be an expert at balancing that sort of thing. BattleCon is just amazing in that regard.
Yeah, that one I definitely want to check out. That's, again, like you said, Level 99, it just knocks it out of the park. That guy, when he puts his head to designing a little card game, it's just no limits to what he can do.
And Disc Duelers, you mentioned Noir.
Noir is amazing, yes.
Yeah, it's a good...
Pixel Tactics, amazing. So, Pixel Tactics 2 and 7-card Slugfest, I haven't, I'm not that familiar with it, but I really want to check it out.
And then Disc Duelers has a little flicking discs where they have powers based on the characters you are. I wondered that all this might be in his same universe, that BattleCon universe, but either way, that's from Level 99 Games. All right, we're in the L's. Ludonaute, who might be with Asmodee, I'm not sure. But they have some games there. They have a demo of Lewis and Clark, which is a really cool theme. Worker placement, hand management.
The game looks stunning. And this is actually a Euro, which has me really excited to check it out. I'd love to sit in on a demo of this because it looks neat. The theme's really cool. I like that. I'm just excited about this one. I mean, there's a lot of... This year seems to be bringing back a lot of really cool, stunning, big Euro games. This is the one I'm going for. This is, I think, going to be my highlight when it comes to the Euro games of the show.
All right. But that's not the only game. They'll be showing off The Little Prince, which is based on a children's book from, I think, like 1930 or 40 or whatever.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the Antoine Bauza and Bruno Cathala design.
It is,
And
which means it's automatically good. Automatically a 7, minimum.
Automatically at least a 7.5, in fact. Yeah, I've already played this. Have you played this?
No, you played The Little Prince?
I've played it, yes.
Where?
I played with some friends.
I didn't even know it was out yet.
I guess they got it from overseas. You're not the end all be all, Mr. Vassal.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, baby, I got one on Tom.
All right.
It's really neat stuff. It's a very cool game where you have options of, you have ways of scoring in different ways. You have tiles that tell you how you'll score, and depending on how many or how few things you get, you score. It's really neat. It's a simple game, but man, I like it. I like it. Really cool.
All right. They also have a game called Shiteno. I'm trying to pronounce it.
Why not?
This is a game that you said has been out a couple years, but they're bringing it in.
Yes.
But the game I'm really excited about them is SOS Titanic. Have you seen it? Because it's like a book. You flip over the pages, and it's showing the Titanic sinking, and you have to rescue people and get them out of there.
This is one of my top 10 I'm looking forward to games. Absolutely.
You were such a sucker for Bruno Cathala.
Bruno Cathala. And the game looks neat. The idea looks cool. Co-op, out of the park. I think you can play solo. All lines up to make a game that I'm really excited about.
All right. Moving on to the second biggest company there, Mayfair Games. They're reprinting Downfall of Pompeii, which if you've never played that, this is one to check out. It's a fun game where you're throwing people in a volcano. That's a city. Have you played it?
Yes, I have.
The lava. You're trying to make the lava surround other people and kill them, and
it's a good Euro. It's like a good Euro with teeth.
Yeah,
it's a neat game. I'm really glad they reprinted this. I have to say, this did not seem like it was going to get a reprint.
No, I thought it was done
for some time. It's been sort of hard to get, but man, kudos to them for bringing this back. You know.
Then there's Mayfair Games. We're still talking about Mayfair
We're on
Games.
them.
Sorry, my mind's gone. Global Mogul, which is a economic game. It looks a little heavier than I think you'd be interested in, but I think it sounds a lot of fun.
Right.
And then more maps for Star Trek Catan. And of course, they'll probably have 6,000 other Catan things there that you'll be able to get. Then, continuing with our M's, Minion Games. They'll be showing off Hegemonic, which they've been showing off for a long time now. It's a space game.
Seems that way, yeah.
But it's really close to final, so you'll probably see something that looks close to the final production. They'll also be having their giant foam dice, which is totally meaningless, really, but I end up buying some.
So is that just foam dice? That's it? Is there a game with that?
No, they're cool. They're cool foam dice.
I think you have one I've seen.
Yeah, we throw them at each other occasionally. And then the new expansion for Manhattan Project, which was released at Origins, but if you didn't get a chance to play it, still waffling on my final thoughts on this one. We'll talk about it later. I don't think it's the greatest expansion I've ever played, but I don't think it's bad either. We'll stay tuned on that.
Yeah.
Well, one more video, and then we'll be done with our GenCon preview. Can we make it?
Let's make it, Tom.
Come on!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.